Namaste everyone. Once again, I'm here in front of you to present some ideas, some thoughts on the Gayatri Mantra. Over a series of discussions we have discussed so far Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha. And basically the Gayatri Mantra attempts to describe and understand Om. So Om is our object of knowing. We want to know Om, we want to understand Om. The words in the mantra are adjectives of Om that allow us to understand how Om is. Because Om is an abstract entity, an abstract thing. And something that's abstract, you have to try and understand what are the qualities of that thing, what that thing does. For example, Maharshi Dayananda would say, to know the gun, karm and swabhav of everything. Gun is the quality, karm, what it does, and swabhav is the nature. So, and everything actually has gun, karm and swabhav. For example, water. What's the swabhav, the nature of water? The nature of water is cooling. Water by nature, it's cooling. It's a cooling element. It gets hot when we apply heat to it. What's the gun of water? Well, water has the potential to clean. It cleanses our body. It also has the potential to remove our thirst. And so gun is what are the potential qualities of that thing. And then karma is what that thing does. Now water, it does a lot of things. I mean, we use water in many ways. To cook our food, to clean our body, to irrigate our fields. And water can be a very destructive force also. When it combines, when it associates with other forces like wind and so on and so forth. And so likewise, Paramatma's swabhav is Sukha Swarup. Paramatma by nature, Sukha Swarup, pure joy, blissful. Paramatma has many qualities, and so this is just one I'm telling you from the perspective of Gayatri Mantra. One of the gun of the divine here is Bhuvaha. Paramatma has the quality of Bhuvaha, wants to remove the pain, the sufferings of his devotees. And then the other one is, what's the karma of the divine? Well, the karma can be Bhu. It starts the creative processes in this universe by giving inspiration to inert matter. And so the next word we'll look at also, Devasya. And so now I'm not going to take the meaning of you look at the words in order. I'm just going to break the order and just look at them differently. Devasya Savituhu. Devasya Savituhu. And as I said the last time, the first part of the mantra has one verb, Dhimahi. So if we read this, Devasya Savitu Dhimahi. Tat Devasya Savitu Dhimahi. Us Dev Savita ka hum dharan kare, ka hum dhyan kare. And so Dhimahi is the verb in the mantra. Dhimahi means we reflect. Dhimahi comes from the verb dhyai. Dhyai means to reflect, to ponder, to contemplate, to think. We reflect, we think, we ponder on these qualities of the divine. Dhimahi also means dharan kare, to incorporate, to make these qualities part of our lives, to understand these qualities, and based on our understanding to try and make these qualities part of our lives, part of our thinking, our behavior. And in doing so, we refine our life and we get a better sense of the divine. We get a better sense of what this universe is and what's our purpose here. And how, as the divine creates this universe for the upliftment of others, likewise, we ultimately begin to understand our purpose here, and we try to live our life fulfilling that purpose. And so Devasya. Devasya is in genitive case. उस देव स्वरूप परमात्मा का हम धारण करें, उस पर हम चिंतन करें. Devasya, Devo Danadva. Paramatma is Dev because Paramatma Dan gives everything in this universe. That's one of the quality of the divine. Divine wants to give. Doesn't keep anything for him or himself. Gives everything. And so that's why the creative process starts in this universe, so that as matter unfolds and evolves over time, when the processes are optimal, then you have creation, you have various forms of creation. Ultimately, you have human creation. And so Paramatma not only gives us this physical universe, but Paramatma also gives us knowledge of the Ved. This mantra is from the Ved. And so he gives us the knowledge that also would uplift and develop our mind, our intellect. He gives us the bounties of this world that to develop our body. And so Paramatma is Dev because he wants us to develop ourselves in all possible ways. Physical development, mental, emotional, spiritual development. And so he creates that universe, and then he gives us this wisdom. And so he's Dev because he gives us all these things. Paramatma is also Dev because Devo Danadva Jutanadva. He gives us bodies in this universe that are source of energy, that are source of light. Think of the sun. The sun gives us light. The sun gives us energy. When the sun rises, we are inspired to get up, go and perform our daily duties. The sun is also responsible for so many things in this universe. The ripening of crops. Nowadays, the rays of the sun is being harnessed to create energy for us, solar energy, and so on and so forth. And so Paramatma gives us all these luminous bodies. And there's a beautiful verse in the Kat Upanishad where the Rishi tells us that all these luminous bodies get their light from that divine being. Without the light of the divine, these luminous body, they'll go dark. And so this is important for us to know. The analogy is, when you see something, think of what's behind that thing. Think of the cause of that thing. And sometimes in our thinking, when we see something, we have difficulty going beyond that thing. And so that's what Gayatri Mantra inspires us and challenges us to do, is when we perceive this universe, to see what's beyond the universe, see what's behind this universe, see what's the intelligent being who organizes and manages the affairs of this universe. And so this verse from the Upanishad, I'll continue with this verse in my next talk, but it basically tells us that all luminous bodies, the sun, the stars, the moon, fire, they all get their energy and radiance and light from that divine being. Without that source, that divine source, that source of light and energy, these bodies we experience, they'll go dark. They won't have the energy that we normally see they have. And so their energy is a reflection of that divine being's energy. And so we can infer by seeing these things that there is a greater being whose divine hands are responsible for all that we behold in this universe. And so we'll conclude here today, and next time we'll continue with this very thought, and we'll also talk a bit on Savita. Namaste. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi.